Hello my dear friends from Philippines, from the coronadal city that hosts some of the most beautiful events that I have personally heard of. To the youth of Philippines, I extend a warm Namaste from India. Namaste in our tradition in India is a warm greeting to another audience. It seems like there must be terrific atmosphere. You must be enjoying what Michael Suplag has created for you all out there to empower you, to give you the leadership, to ignite you with dreams, and I'm glad to be a part of one such gathering today. I extend a warm appreciation to Mr. Michael Suplag, and I request you all, extend a big round of applause for Mr. Michael Suplag from Coronadal. I guess it must have been a big round of applause. I know you're all watching this video very keenly to learn what you can take back from my journey of success. When I was asked by Mr. Michael Suplag to actually share my journey of leadership with you all, I was actually pondering what is that I could share with you all that could actually create leadership wave in Philippines that should never settle down. Any amount of my prayers would fall short to express how deeply hurt I was when I heard about the cyclone, the typhoon that hit Philippines some time ago. I know the country is still recovering from that loss, but let me tell you, my dear friends, sitting in India from Bangalore, let me give you the bird's eye view of what we think about Philippines. Not a whisker, has been shaken of Philippines. That's the kind of courage you guys have displayed. The youth of Philippines has gotten together to show the world that Philippines is not shaken by one typhoon. They have the capacity to handle many of them. They are resilient, and that's what we sitting here think, and I really appreciate that spirit of the Filipinos to handle that kind of a resilience, that resilience that Filipinos have shown towards that kind of a disastrous hit from nature. I think that shows that energy and the ability to handle unexpected debacles and difficulties is in the nature of every Filipino. I might only today add a little more fuel to that burning fire in you all, and let me do the needful. I was a very, very simple child with not many big dreams, not many talents to my name. As I grew up, today when I stand as a motivational speaker who travels around the world to inspire the youth, as I stand with a company that has many verticals, including one of this lovely magazine for which authors contribute from 50 countries and there are readers from more than 100 countries. I look back when I see I am running projects which are impacting the society, and they have impacted more than 20 million people in the last 2.5 years. I find myself surprised when I look at the mirror that at this age it would have never been possible if I hadn't gathered some leadership lessons on this journey. And that's what leaves me shocked of how could I actually achieve this. What leaves me more shocked is if I, who was a very simple child, could do it, why can't every single youth in the world do it? And that's when I decided I will set myself out on a journey to travel around the world, do everything it takes to inspire the youth, to tell them that if I could do it, you can do it much faster than me. Because when I began, I had no push for me. But today when you're starting, I'm giving you the ignition you need. And that's where I introspected and I went back to my life and I recalled that I, being a simple child, kept gathering the dreams that the world had to offer to me. I, as a simple child, kept gathering the dreams that the people around me showed me. When I look back at my childhood, which was pretty sober, I was born to an average middle class family that would make its ends meet with its month full of efforts. And today, when I look back at that time and compare, I believe I thank the Almighty for showing me that kind of a life full of struggle. Seeing my father work day in and day out, I decided that when I grow up, I do not know how much wealth I will amass, but if I have to make meaning to my life, I will work hard the way my father worked hard day in and day out to bring me up. I will bring up every child in the globe. I do not have a child of my own till now. I'm married, but I'm sure I'm yet few years away before I have my own child. But I believe every child who is dreaming big out there or wants to dream big, I believe I could have that child as my child and say, child, work the way my father worked, work the way I'm working hard today. And I look back at my life and feel, that's the trigger I got from my father. I did not become the best student of my school, though I did score well in my school when I was a child. I did rank amongst the top few students of the class, but I know that was with very less amount of efforts. And as I grew up, I realized if I didn't work as hard as my father did, I wouldn't do justice to the dreams he showed me. I wouldn't do justice to the dreams that my country showed me. I wouldn't do justice to the amount of expectation my country deserves to expect out of me. When my country got independence, the freedom fighters brought the independence to my country. They gave me a chance to flourish with the opportunities that flourish today in my country, as much as in the Filipinos history which I know of. When Philippines was occupied by another, outside invader, Filipinos got the freedom as recently as much as India did a little more years later. But I believe each one of us, the youth, deserve to give back to the freedom fighters what they envisioned of a better nation, of our nation. A lot of people ask me, why do I deliver speeches with so much of energy? And I have one answer to them, that the youth today has been bombarded by things from all mediums of communication that our ears have gone deaf and our minds have gotten blocked for information to reach easily. And that's why when I take speeches around the world, I make sure that the energy coming from within me is so strong that it pierces through that dust and dirt filled in the ears and the mind that are blocking us today and not allowing us to see the dreams that once we could have seen, or we would have seen, or we should have seen. And I believe the words go like an arrow, pierce through and sit and clear the dirt and allow the youth, allow the mind of the youth to start dreaming as big as he wants. And that's where I believe, my dear friends from Philippines, the Philippines does not lack energy. The Philippines does not lack youth with energy. The Filipinos are proving results the way Michael Suplag, or I know of Mr. Mark Ethan Agena. Forgive me if I pronounce that wrong, but they are terrific youth, and I know of many more who exist, but I may not have heard of them. I believe these are the role models of tomorrow who will make a difference in the nation. When I look back at my journey and I ask myself, what were those lessons I learned? I come across few very strong lessons which I will share on this video today. I truly wish I could have come to Philippines. I would be able to fly down, be there personally with you, but I believe technology has empowered us today that despite my absence physically, I'm yet able to share my words with you. That's where I want to look back in my life, go back to the most important lessons and let you know that if I could do it, don't forget, you too can much faster than I did, for we have all the technology and all the opportunities. This is the most opportune time the history of mankind has ever known for creating success, creating prosperity, creating progress, creating integrity, creating people with honesty, creating businesses, creating enterprises, creating projects, creating avenues, creating opportunities that will truly bring this world a better reason to tell the next generation that your previous generation did not leave any reason not to allow you to thrive in the best ways possible. So coming to my first lesson, work as hard as you can with big dreams. Dreams for your family, dreams for yourself, dreams for your own country. In my last 7 years of life, having addressed 2.5 million people and more, the greatest lesson that I learned by traveling around the world was, the youth out there feels they are lacking opportunities. The youth out there feels they don't have opportunities. The youth out there feels someone has to come and change their life. The youth out there feels, when is their life going to change? The youth out there gets bored of things very fast. The youth out there feels that some kind of an external force is going to come to drive them. And that's when I shared my first and the biggest lesson with all of them. Opportunity is inside us. Energy is inside us. That chance is inside us. The ignition is inside us, provided that big dream to change the world could be inside us. That was my first lesson which I learned, my dear friends. I know you're applauding. I know you're feeling amazing right now. I know you're feeling what a wonderful time that you're spending here and taking back some of the most powerful lessons. And never forget, this was courtesy Michael Suplag. You need to hit a big round of applause for him. Let's do it. Let's clap for him. Yes, there we go. I will continue the second and the biggest thing that I learned as my life went along. In my school education, I has remained a very sober child. But when I was in my grade 10, I told my mother on a very fine evening. It was a very simple evening. My mother was feeding me dinner just like any other mother would do out of love that she has for her child. I was being fed dinner, and at that point of time I told my mother, "Mother, your child is no ordinary. Your child is no ordinary. This child of yours is going to rank in the history someday. There is going to be a page in the history that will get recorded only for this child of yours. This child of yours is going to work hard and create a reason for history to record him." And my mother, like any other mother, said, "Finish your dinner first. We'll think of everything else later." And that's when I told my mother, "I will not forget this even if you do, my mother." And today, when I go back and tell my mother that yes, I'm glad. I'm not sure if my work is already worth a feature in history, but I'm pretty sure I'm walking towards that. I'm pretty sure I'm not walking alone. I'm pretty sure at least one of you sitting there will walk with me, will wake up today, right now, go back and say, yes, history will find itself worth recording your name. And I know that dream has ignited in you. The dream ignited in me because I surrounded with people like that, who dreamt larger than life, who said life is worth when you dream bigger. Life is absolutely dead if you dream very small. Each of us have a right to dream. Dreams have to be the one that will drive us towards a better future. Dreams have to be the one that will wake us up to say today is yet another day which will be lived for a reason and not reasonless. Am I right that way? And that's exactly when I realized I need to build my dreams big. I kept gathering every dream I could see. I met an entrepreneur and I dreamt how I wish I was an entrepreneur. I met a scientist and I dreamt how I wish I was a scientist. I met a leader and I felt how I wish I was a leader. I met a writer and I felt how I wish I was a writer. I met a poet and I felt how I wish I was a poet. I met a singer and I felt how I wish I was a singer. Just like any one of you there who stand confused many a times when you see people who are successful and you feel you too could be the one, but we fail to recognize, do we have the talent to be one? That's when I look back at my life to realize the greatest lesson I learned next was there is no talent that a man is given that is inborn. Anything with practice could be developed, and I decided I will live each of these dreams individually, and I'm proud to share with you. I'm a writer currently with my book Life Simplified published. I'm the chief editor to this lovely magazine of Inspiration Unlimited for which the world contributes. I am proud to share with you that my poetry book, my composition, is going to be launched within a while. I am proud to share with you I'm an entrepreneur with 8 verticals and many entrepreneurial people walking their lives with me, and I'm proud to share with you I used to think I'll be a leader, and I'm proud I run 9 projects that have impacted people globally, and I'm leading massive forces of youth to make a difference. I know of minimum 20 to 25 people who at the age of 18 or 19 have founded projects that are impacting the society every single day, and I know the leadership has begun to pass on. I know the dreams have begun to pass on. I know as much by the time 15 minutes have gotten over, each one of you sitting there are now at least believing to dream big. If you say yes, say yes. I guess they said yes, Michael. You could tell me after the session if they actually said, but if they have said yes, let's take a pledge, my dear friends, today, that today onwards, 1st March 2014 will be the last day we ever dreamt small. We will dream of a better life, a better nation, a better world, a better society, and not just dream. We will walk out of our comfort zones and make it happen. The biggest lesson next that I learned when I started dreaming big was, big dreams don't happen until we do one thing. What is that one thing? I asked so many people around the world when I traveled to Russia, UK, Switzerland, Zurich, Nepal, and I asked everyone, what is that thing to be done to achieve your dreams? And everyone said work hard. I said no, you need to start. You need to start. You need to start. 99% of the people fail in the life to achieve what they dream because they don't start. Let me tell you, the greatest thing I did in my life was the moment I believed in an idea. Next moment I sat to plan it, and with resources like Google, research has become a cakewalk. With resources available to us, figuring out an idea, figuring out the pros and cons, figuring out how to relatively develop a plan has become a issue of just clicks of your fingertips, which is absolutely easy even for a teenager. And that's when I realized, if you don't start, none but you are responsible for not starting. And in that case, there is no actuation that is going to happen from the external world that will make you start. You might be expecting what I share with you today might make you start. No, my dear friends, you are wrong. What I tell you today might only make you think that you must start. But what will make you actually start is that you will actually start. And that will make you get into the habit of starting each time you think and plan something. And that's my next biggest lesson. Today, in a matter of 2.5 years, IU runs 8 verticals and 9 projects, and due to start 10, 20 more, I'm 100% sure in the next couple of years, I learnt about Sir Richard Branson, and I think all of us should get a big round of applause for him. I'm no ambassador to him. I heard about Bill Gates as well. I heard about Ambani's as well, and I heard about a lot of people who have made big name in the entrepreneurial industry with no adherence to one particular individual, but to the adherence of the qualities they possessed. The first quality that I learned from all of them was, when you dream, you gotta start. When you start, you gotta make others start. When you make others start, you gotta sustain that start. And the next lesson I learned was, after starting something, you got to be consistently consistent on delivering that. Just the way in the last 15 minutes, I'm delivering my lessons to you with consistent consistency. Hit a big round of applause. I'm sure the way you learned the lesson of consistent consistency, the next thing that I would love to share with you, I have a couple more points on my agenda, but the first one out of that, after consistent consistency, is that we need to follow up that consistency with patience. I recall when I was a university student, I got many opportunities to work part-time. I grabbed those part-time opportunities and I worked very hard, and in that hard work I realized, for the company which I worked, I created a turnover of $1.1 million. And that eventually meant creating a sales team of committed 500 sales leaders, which meant a total of 10,000 sales of the product which I was trying to market in a matter of 3 years. As a student with no experience at all of sales or business, the only confidence that I got was, I knew if I had to grow beyond the borders of my nation, beyond the inhibitions of myself, I had to grab every opportunity that came and develop every skill that it asked for. And that's exactly what I did with one attitude of mine, and that was, I wanted to learn. So the lesson that I would love to share is, with patience comes lessons. No lessons are going to be taught to you in a hurry by this wonderful teacher called life. Life is a teacher that gets joy in taking the pleasure out of watching you desperate for the lesson, but it will never give you that lesson until it is sure that now you are no more desperate but determined for the lesson it is willing to offer you because of the patience you developed to get the lesson out of your life. And that's life. During this journey of cracking all the results I cracked for my own success, I went through occasions when results was nowhere. I kept putting efforts in all directions, just the way many of you must have experienced. Results don't seem to come despite all the efforts we put. Success doesn't seem to come. Growth doesn't seem to come. We don't seem to develop. We don't financially grow. We don't grow in our abilities, in our skills. But while an individual on the other side grows every second and every day, what we fail to realize is that when we look deep into his life, he does not grow by this matter of chance and this object of chance called luck. He grows because of his hard work. Many people around the world ask me, is it luck or is it hard work that makes a man successful? And my answer to them is, First, we need to understand the definition of luck. And the definition of luck is someone else's hard work for your growth. How does that happen? Very simple. For example, Michael Suplag worked very hard to create this conference. Michael Suplag worked very hard to bring you to this place. I worked very hard in my life for the 9 years of my life till now to become what I am and understand which are the most important lessons to become successful in life. And today you are just giving an effort of 30 minutes to listen to what we are sharing to you. And this effort of Michael and mine of my life is your luck today to take back the lesson filtered completely of the algae around it. And that's luck. So luck is just the hard work of someone else. It's ready to hit anyone. Just the question is, who will utilize it? Everyone is given opportunities. We all are born with an ability which is beyond excellence to deliver excuses. None of us are taught how to give excuses. We learn. We learn by the reason of being able to excuse ourselves from the task at hand. In the same way, as much as our objective is to escape from that particular work. How to give excuse to escape from something is how exactly I gave excuses not to escape from my work and I kept achieving my dreams. I know you're applauding. I know you're feeling good. I know you're feeling you've learned a lot. I know this feeling because I felt it personally 9 years ago. What did I do after that? I went out on the field in a pursuit of excellence, applying every single thing I learned, and I achieved my goals that I set, I desired, with patience, with consistency, with following up myself, with dreaming bigger and bigger each time, with the fact that I will wake up every single day with a reason to perform even more better, to deliver something better to the world and come back home with one achievement to my name, and that is I made a difference all the time I was outside my house. And that's exactly today what I would love to give you in the concluding end, that no matter what you do, if you want to believe that you want to be successful, you gotta give back each time you get something. With an opportunity of 25 minutes that I got, I want to give back 5 minutes back to the Filipinos. The people sitting here right now, multiplied 5 times of the 5 minutes I'm leaving you back with one commitment from you that you will make the most out of that as much as I made the most out of these 20 minutes to give you the best lessons of my life. To conclude, my strongest lesson of life is dream big. Start now. Start small. Follow up consistently. Make sure you're patient. Have the determination to reach the end before your dream is complete. Your eyes must not get the sleep into them. Just make sure you keep these as your thumb rules of life, and I'm sure success is going to be all around you. I love Philippines and I would love to visit your country someday. Meet you in person maybe a year from now or a couple of years from now, and love to hear from you that these 20 minutes made a difference to your life, that ignited your dreams, ignited the spark in you to start, and you started something which grew to become a small revolution in Philippines. And that day I would love to shake hands with you and say, I salute you for what you are, because many listen but few learn, many understand but few apply, many dream but few achieve. Thank you so much, my dear Filipinos. It was lovely talking to you all the way from India. I hope I will see you all very soon. Thank you. Namaste.